It's really useful to not defend yourself too vociferously, which is weird because you'd think, well, you have the right to defend yourself, like no holds barred. It's like, no, it actually doesn't work that way. It's that you have to defend yourself with minimal necessary force, and I think I managed that in the Channel 4 interview. For sure. Thank God. Yeah. But I mean, believe me, people have been talking to me about that non-stop for 15 months, and I'm listening.
And by the way, it wouldn't work as well if you hadn't done that, right? If you just shellacked her.
Right.
If you just gone right at her and said what you are saying is so stupid for these 5 reasons, it would have been bad. I think. The fact that you sat there and you just said, no, you're asking good questions, and the fact that you're asking good questions demonstrates the invalidity of your entire viewpoint. Yeah. I think that was much more effective.
Well, right. Well, and that's see one of the things I've been meditating on for the last year is there's a line in the New Testament that says, "Resist not evil." I'm thinking, okay, what the hell are you supposed to do with that line? It's like. Because it's really a difficult thing to figure out. Do you really mean that? You don't resist evil? Well, there's a couple of problems. Is if you punch back, then you have a fight. Well, but you can't just not defend yourself, like weakly. You can't be weak and not defend yourself. But you can be strong and defend yourself minimally. And that's a real art. Like that's the essence of sophistication, I would say. Yeah. And like I'm not... I come from kind of a rough place. I come from northern Alberta. I come from the frontier, and my town was scraped out of the bloody prairie 50 years before people moved, before I lived there. And so it's been a continual challenge to adjust my sophistication to the level of challenge. And I'm trying to do that. And
do you think
but I don't always manage it.
Yeah, so to that point, do you think that we sometimes actually at a deep level use identity politics against ourselves in this regard? So you're sitting across from Cathy, she's female.
Yeah.
At some level, do you think you maybe moderated it because of that? Because had it been a male, and you talk about this often, that we have to act differently towards males and females, and there's physical reasons for that and biological reasons for that. But that had she been a male, say the same exact age from you, from Alberta, and all of that perhaps your response might have been a little more forceful. Even though we're all agreeing your response was done correctly and even-handedly.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to say, but probably yes.
That's interesting.
Well, because I don't think that you can say that you fight with a woman the same way that you fight with a man. That doesn't mean you can't fight with a woman. It doesn't mean you shouldn't. But I don't think the rules are the same. Now, why are the rules different? Well, some of the rules are, there's a physical limit that's much more stringent, right? I mean, there's a level of hinting at physical threat that you can bring to bear in a conversation between men that you cannot bring to bear in a conversation with a woman. So, and the mechanics of that are very, very subtle and difficult. And it's especially challenging in an intellectual discussion, because an intellectual discussion is a kind of war. And it isn't obvious how men and women should go to war with one another. We don't know how to sort that out. My sense has been, on the panels that I've done, is that I definitely have to pull my punches if I'm on a panel with women. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's any less challenging intellectually, but the strategy and the attitude has to be different. It's much more likely that you'll be seen as a bully if you bring the same force to bear on a female opponent as you would on a male opponent.